For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Those are some of the most beautiful words in the entire Bible. They're some of the best known words in the entire Bible. And yet, it's very difficult to connect those words to the reality of what it meant for God to give his only begotten Son. Jesus ultimately had come from heaven to provide a way of living for us. He does that not only through his example, but through the inspired word that guides us, through the inspiration, indwelling of the Holy Spirit. But he also did it and does it through his sacrifice. You see, Thursday reminds us that Jesus is the Passover lamb. And one of the purposes of those Old Testament sacrifices, the Passover lamb in particular, was to foreshadow, to be an antitype of Jesus, the coming Messiah. But there's a significant and drastic contrast between the Passover lamb and Jesus, though. And that is that the lamb didn't have a choice. The lamb is truly a victim. On Friday, we see that Jesus is forsaken by all of his earthly friends and disciples. As he's praying in the garden, his three closest disciples can't even stay awake to provide him support. As he comes out of his prayer and is still in the garden, he is outright betrayed by Judas. He's taken into custody, and he's further forsaken by his friends. He predicted this, although they didn't seem to believe it. His disciples scattered as sheep without a shepherd. Jesus understood what it was like to be forsaken by his friends. He understood what it was like to be betrayed by someone close to him. But his sacrifice was merely beginning. He's taken into custody where he's publicly humiliated by these false trials. He goes through a whole series of them. He's before each of the high priests. He's before Herod, and he's before Pilate. In each case, accuracy and truthfulness is not the desire. The Jews have an agenda that they're going to follow at this point. They want him dead. Pilate has an overarching agenda that he's going to protect his power and prevent a riot. Throughout all these trials, Jesus is humiliated, beat, and falsely accused. You see, the reality of this is that Jesus was not really on trial. It was mankind on trial. Mankind has been so separated from God through the corruption of this world, even the corruption of our own hearts, that when God enters the world as a human who is innocent, who came serving, providing, helping, and doing nothing but good, this is how he's treated. Pilate, seeing the anger of The mob, it would seem, thinks that if he brutalizes him enough, it will satisfy him. So he sends him to be scourged, where he was beat. Not just beat, but scourged would have torn his flesh away and would have taken him within an inch of his life. And bringing him back, the crowd was not satisfied. They would rather have a rebel, a murderer, Barabbas, released than Jesus. And so with this, Pilate thinks he seals the deal by sending him to be crucified. But Jesus had long since done that. He falters physically under the weight of his own cross, being pushed to the very limits and beyond of physical capabilities. He's ultimately nailed to that cross, and there he willingly hangs and gives his life for you and I. You see, that's the difference between Jesus and that sacrificial lamb, that Passover lamb. Jesus wasn't a victim. Jesus was a willing sacrifice. How could we possibly remember these events and call it Good Friday? Well, because unlike any other human, unlike anything else in the world, the story's not over. The story is going to continue. And we understand that this wasn't the end. This was the sacrifice that set up and provided for the greatest victory. It's but 3 days away.